Welcome to the SJ Child Show, where a little bit of knowledge can turn fear into understanding. Enjoy the show. Hi, thanks for joining the SG Child Show. Today, I look forward to this conversation. This is Albert Jersey, and it's going to be great to get his perspective and find out more about him, find out how we can support him, anything like that. So, welcome to the show, Albert.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks so much. And thanks for almost, putting your sick time at risk to just talk to me. Holy moly. I'm so sorry. I'm glad that we got to do this when you're off work and you can just relax and yeah, we can just have very chill conversation. You're on the East Coast, right?
That's correct. I'm in central Massachusetts.
Oh, Massachusetts. I've never
Yeah,
been, but I really would love to go. I actually have a lot of friends now on the East Coast and especially Massachusetts. So that's exciting. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, an introduction, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
okay. I'm Albert Jersey. I was born in Atlanta, lived there for 3 years, and moved to North Carolina. But I moved here in Massachusetts when I was 4.5, and I've been here ever since. Right now, I'm a staff accountant for Meadowhawk Biolabs, a contract research firm that does work for big pharma and biotech.
Wow.
And currently, I'm a graduate student pursuing a degree for accounting. And probably going to graduate in May, like this year.
Congratulations. That's a wonderful, wonderful accomplishment.
Yeah, and I've been doing autism self advocacy for about, I would say, 3 or 4 years. Ever since I came in contact with Ryan Litchfield, like me and him go way back in high school.
Oh, that's exciting. Ryan has been a great friend and even has helped me out on one of my events, the 1 in 44 tour. And so that's really exciting to, have those connections. When, if you don't mind sharing, when were you diagnosed and when did that journey start? Or even when you were aware of when that happened?
That's a great question. I believe I was diagnosed with autism when I was about 3 years old in Atlanta, but I wasn't made aware of it until I think first or second grade when I was in elementary school. I think that's when I was told. But I think more of my classmates were educated about that in fourth grade.
Mhm.
So some guy just came in there like, okay, that's why Albert's the way he is.
How did that make you feel? Were you glad that someone came in to teach them, or did you feel maybe a little bit like spotlight?
Well, spotlight, uncomfortable at the time, yes.
But then maybe over time, did it feel like did it change the way people interacted with you or make it better or worse?
I don't think it changed a thing,
Hmm, that's
but there were
probably good to
people,
know.
there were, there were people that were there that accepted me for who I am, but I
Yeah.
think a little bit after that, I tried to fit in, but that didn't work out. But I think the thing is the more you try to be someone you're not, the more you're gonna be excluded. But
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? And how ironic almost is that you're just trying your best to feel like you're part of something, but the more you try, the less that you're part of it because you're not being true to who you really are. It has a lot to do with masking and oftentimes bullying for kids in that social setting. What did it look like? It sounds like you met Ryan in high school. So when you went further kind of into your older schooling, did it turned out a little bit better for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, high school was really rough. I went through a rough period. Like after that, I made some like not very good decisions. Like after I got bullied by a high school team, but a couple good friends like were there for me. Well, it was Brett and Matt Nelson. Like those two were there for me when I was like at my lowest point, and now it's like me and Brett have been best friends ever since.
Mm. I love that. Do
And
you,
it's like I've been out of my comfort zone and all that.
yeah. And now that you are in college and I mean graduating and everything, how has that turned into a better social situation for you? Or what does that look like?
I think this is probably the best social situation in my life
Mm, that's great.
because one is like you're just unfiltered. It's happiness. There's no rules for happiness.
Yeah.
If you're happy, you're happy. Like ever since like I moved to my new place 2 weeks ago, which is in the country setting, and like Massachusetts, like the town's Lancaster, but it just clicked to me. Like it doesn't matter like how you should be happy. You're happy.
Yeah.
Like if you're feeling good, like why should like a jerk like dictate how you feel? But if they say, "Oh, like you're dumb," you gotta say, "Okay, like that doesn't matter. I feel happy. What you're saying is like not cool, bro."
Yeah. And not true either, right? Exactly. And I love that you said that. Just be happy. And not enough people follow that instinct within them. They want to fight against it because they think of like they're having FOMO, all of these things that they might be missing out on here and there. But I really love that you said that. And then kind of when you settle into that happiness and being able to just accept yourself and maybe the friends that you do have who've been there for you and stay, it's easier to kind of rally yourself to the next step.
Absolutely. It's like whoever's there for you, like in your lowest points, and they're like for your achievements, those are the people you want to be around.
Yeah. Well, what are your plans in your self advocacy? What does that look like now for you, and where do you want that to go?
That's a really good question. Keep connecting with all the autism self advocates like you and Ryan and Jeff Snyder and Michelle and see where it goes. I, and last year, I got a call from Temple Grandin when I sent an email saying I could use advice, but I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But she just said, like, tell your story about like how you like changed your life or making better decisions, like how
I
you like matured.
And now you're doing that. And here you are. Now we're doing it. So great for you for taking her wonderful advice. I just had an email with her last week too. So that's great that you said that. She'll be coming to my hometown and I'm going to plan to finally see her in person instead of just on the computer and on the phone.
Yeah, it must be exciting.
Very, very exciting. What could you maybe tell parents w- what should they do like when they're kind of getting that first diagnosis? What is the best thing you think maybe happened for you as a kid? Any kind of therapies or non-therapies or just believing in you? What kind of things do you think we can help parents understand?
Um, I think parents like should think, okay, what can I do after this? Don't let like um the negative people like dictate how you should think, but rather, okay, maybe this kid thinks differently than the neurotypicals, but rather, okay, what therapy should we use so like our child can have a better life. And also, like, there's an author like I read 4 years ago. It does have a swear, but this guy like wrote in an article or a blog saying people on the spectrum do not know like how to not care about other people's opinions, and that's a tremendous gift. So
True.
it's like they don't know how to not take offense to like bad comments. They're just like in their happy own world, but they were taught to like take offense.
Yeah. And it's so interesting you said that because I think that that is such kind of like a blanket statement to make about people. There's so many different ways, like even in my own family, from my husband, myself, my daughter, and my son, we couldn't be further different from one another. And my son, for example, is 14, still semi-verbal. And so for him, there's so many more challenges and so much more support needed and so many more um ways that we still need to show up for him and care for him on a daily basis and moment to moment sometimes. But
Right.
then you like look at someone like me who's hosting a podcast and hosting events and people think, well, that's not possible. There's no way that you can be autistic. And believe me, I take offense to people's uneducated opinions sometimes, and I have to rethink how that's just the case. They're just uneducated. It's not, I don't need to take bad feelings from that. But then I think, like you just said, my son, on the other hand, I don't know that he has the ability or has that trait to take offense to something in the way that I might. So I think that it's so individualized to how somebody connects with the world around them through empathy or sympathy, all of those things.
Right.
Mm,
I think it's like I think parents just like they shouldn't be afraid to like stand up. And plus, I think they just had to think to themselves, just never give up. Just never give up.
yeah,
No,
absolutely.
I mean, never give up. Just always keep going. Like it's like Rocky. It's like the 15th round. Like out in my previous place from last year, like my landlord's like, "Oh, Albert, you just gotta go," because he had to live there. He went through a rough time and all that. I understand that it happens, but I just watched that one scene. But like like Rocky, like this guy, like he just wouldn't like stay down, he he beat Apollo. But
Yeah.
but a lot of these people on the spectrum, like Temple, she just kept going, and she made a difference throughout the autism community and the cattle industry.
Yeah. Amazing. And we're so thankful to have her kind of as a pioneer
Right.
to kind of follow in her footsteps and be the voices that follow and say, "Hey, we're still out here educating, we're still out here helping, making differences out here." I love that.
Yeah, and also like I think there should be like I think the teachers and principals and like the superintendents they could be more aware and like have some more improvement how they treat people on a
Mm,
spectrum and special needs
I
and
love
had
that.
people from poor communities.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done, especially in the education system and our economic, social systems too, for sure. What, a little bit more lighthearted question. What are some of your interests and hobbies that you love to do that keep you happy?
Um, well, I love playing the guitar. I started that 3 years ago.
Really?
I have it behind me.
And are you going to play a song for us? No, 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 just kidding. You don't pressure. Another time.
Yeah, maybe another time.
No, that's wonderful. I love music too. Have you always loved music?
Um, I've always loved listening to music. I wanted to play guitar in fifth grade, but I didn't follow through it. But once COVID happened, I'm like, okay, I gotta do something. But then I started doing a new hobby, which was nature walking. That was the
Oh,
first one. And then guitar came in. And then I started learning Portuguese, like for my foreign neighbors. Like,
wow. I love that. So do you um have my son's a really picky eater. So we have a hard time like he loves other countries and other languages, but I can't imagine that he would ever try any other new foods or anything like that. Do you like to try new foods or do you have kind of more of a routine that you like to follow?
um, well, let's see. How do I put this? I used to be a picky eater when I was a kid. I used to eat grapes, pretzels, and French fries. That used to be my routine. But I think once I got into fifth grade, I started eating sausage pizza and meat, and then I started to eat everything. But once I started living on my own, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna be on a budget so I can get my account growing because I'm an accountant. So like,
Good for you.
because like, let's
Yeah.
face it, like we don't keep track how much we spent because it's surprising like how much we impulse buy. But when you look at your statement,
Yeah, I probably need an accountant in my life. It's
but
not me. It's not me.
it's not like how smart you are. It's like how much discipline can you control, like from like I don't know, going to Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's drive-through.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
it,
makes a
that is
difference.
true. You
I
know,
mean,
yeah, we made a life-changing decision probably like 12 or 13 years ago. I say probably right around the same time as our son, so about 12 years ago that we weren't going to eat fast food. In fact, our kids have never been through McDonald's ever. And like we have had gotten, other things from like higher end places a couple of times, but for the most part, plus we go to a water distillery and we get like clean water for our family to drink and everything. So it's made big changes in our kind of overall health, I think, in general.
mm, yeah, and it's like that's great. But now that I'm living on my own again, I have like spinach, I have carrot juice, I have like that other green
Wow.
juice, berries, lean meats.
I love that. Sounds fantastic. Well, that's really great. And so do you get together like in any social groups or anything autism related or other just to go out now and do things or do you know people mostly online?
Uh, it's it used to be like more online, but at one point, like I think it was like 1.5 years ago, which was like 2022. But that was like before I started grad school because I was just so busy. Oh my god!
Mhm.
But it was at the Autism Resource Center with Ryan Litchfield. Like, so we met up occasionally, like to meet up with Diane Crossley,
That's
just to
great.
discuss like how like we can help these kids and like and have fun together and make a difference.
Yeah. How'd that make you feel? Really fulfilled?
It made me very fulfilled.
Yeah. Kind of giving back what you kind of hopefully were given, or if not giving what you didn't get sometimes in life is what we do.
Right. And now that I'm approaching graduation, I think I'll have more time for this again. But
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's been so nice getting to know you today and everything. Do you have any projects I mean, graduation, that's humongous coming up. Any other projects or, organizations that you're with or anything like that?
I did contemplate. Well, sometimes I go to a chapel like to pray, but I've been contemplating recently. Should I go to mass? but also occasionally I go with my guitar teacher to church to pray with him. Like he's a terrific
Wonderful.
guy,
I
very
love
wise.
that. And it's great that you have sounds like some good mentors and some people that are really supportive for you in your life. So I'm super happy to hear that.
Yeah, and my boss is like a great mentor. Like I got lucky.
So proud of you. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for adjusting your schedule and being available to be, vulnerable and catch up. And I look forward to staying in touch with you and maybe inviting you to come to our next autism event that we will be having virtually.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, let me know in the future how I can support you. If there's any social medias that you want to give people, otherwise, whatever, however you like people to get in touch with you, LinkedIn or anything like that.
Yeah, I noticed like LinkedIn like starting to develop more connections since COVID. I'm like, oh wow, like this is like pretty awesome.
Great. Well, I'll make sure to have your links available so that people know where to find you and, talk to you and find out anything else going on in your life. So hopefully you can keep making those connections. And so when you get out of grad school, what is your plan?
Um, yeah, I do have a new plan. I started like a new like Charles like Schwab, so I'm thinking of like
Mm,
doing a little investing. I don't know. I just have a lot of things to like do. There's just so much abundance in the world. Like if you
yeah,
go through hard times, like just makes you think, wow, I'm still here, but
amazing what we can endure and draw from that to move on to bigger and better things.
exactly right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited we got to make this connection and yeah, hopefully we can stay in touch.
Absolutely.
Sounds great.